I'm not going to drag my kids to some place they don't want to be that we shouldn't even have to be at.
A local woman contacted our whistleblower hotline saying she's sick and tired of drug use in her apartment building. But when she approached her landlord about the issue, asking for help moving to a new home, she was told she can't break the lease she had already signed. Valley News Team's Rose Itzkovitz reports.
My daughters basically refuse to come here anymore. I have to drag them kicking and screaming to come to this apartment. They say it's creepy, stinky, gross. They don't like the creepy smells and environment.
A single mother of young daughters asking to remain anonymous is already half moved out of her apartment. She says to keep her kids from inhaling drugs.
It's cigarette smoke and marijuana smoke. Sometimes it's pretty extreme.
She says the building has more problems than just drugs.
Oftentimes the back door, which is supposed to be security, is open. The washing machines oftentimes aren't working. Strange people have knocked at my door late at night several times.
Just walking outside right now, I happened to stop a young mother with her baby. I asked her if she had any complaints in the building. The first thing out of her mouth was that it fills with smoke and that worries her with her children. She says, I quote, "It stinks." So we know it's not just the one mother and that this is a bigger issue. The single mother told her landlord she simply wanted to move to a bigger place.
You know, I'm not trying to get anyone in trouble or get anyone evicted.
But Goldmark, who owns Griffin Court in Moorhead, wouldn't let her break her lease. So she told them she smelled drugs. They still wouldn't let her out. A Goldmark representative tells us, we have offered to her a transfer to another Goldmark managed property, adding there are numerous options in her price range. But of those options, only 3 within her price range are within her children's school district. The whole reason she moved in the first place. Between those 3 places, records show 28 separate incidents this year, ranging from suspicious to threats to narcotics.
So that's actually not a solution. I'm sure I could go to one of those buildings and within a week, I could probably start complaining about that building too.
That's why she says she'll finish moving out and have to take it up with collections. For her daughter's sake, she won't wait for the smoke to clear. In Moorhead, Rose Itzkovitz, Valley News Live.
According to the Moorhead Police Department, an officer visited the building on Monday and reported the odor of marijuana, but no action was taken because he wasn't able to determine a source. To see Goldmark's full statement and incident reports of the other buildings, head on over to our website and click on the story. As we mentioned, that story came to us through our whistleblower hotline. So if you need help with an issue in your community, call us at 701-237-6576 and then leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will then get on the case and go to work to expose the truth. Coming up after weather, West Fargo police make a $1 million pot bust. Plus, we're learning new information about a grain bin accident that sent a man to the hospital. It was a chilly one out there for the Holiday Lights Parade, Robert. Good thing we brought those hand warmers and gloves. How does the rest of our evening look?
Yeah, definitely a cold one, and that will continue as we head through the rest of the evening. A live look outside on the Coronado.com Valley Skycam, part of the Storm Team Skycam network. Quiet conditions, and those will continue as we head through much of the overnight hour period. And by the time we get into tomorrow, we'll start to see some southerly winds and maybe a little bit of snow for parts of the valley. 16 degrees. It feels more like 4, though. Those winds out of the west at 9 miles per hour are much lighter than they were at this time last night. Temperatures elsewhere across the region: 7 in Gwinner, 9 Valley City, 8 in Jamestown, 10 over in Bemidji, and 14 in the Fergus Falls area. Light winds, they'll become even lighter overnight tonight, and they'll start to turn southerly, already doing so over in Jamestown and Valley City. By tomorrow afternoon, some southerly winds 5 to 15 miles per hour with some stronger gusts. And those winds combined with our cold temperatures give us wind chills as cold as 0 in Jamestown, -2 in Devils Lake, 7 in Grand Forks, and 2 below over in Bemidji. Not a whole lot of clouds out there, but a few clouds we do have, mainly higher, thin cirrus clouds sliding off towards the southeast. More cloudiness as we head towards tomorrow morning. No precipitation in our region, but as you get on over to the Arrowhead of Minnesota, a bit of snow shower activity making its way on through there. Across the national map, this is the activity we're keeping our eye on. It's going to make its way towards our region, off towards the west. Some rain in the Pacific Northwest. In the Great Lakes, some rain and some snow and some showers and storms along the Gulf Coast. For us, as we head through the overnight hours again, those winds have become light. It's going to be a cold one overnight, and here come the clouds. And models have changed a bit from how they looked earlier this evening. Now, as we put this into motion through the day tomorrow, we're going to see a chance for some snow showers across the north, but models coming in a bit drier than earlier. But we'll continue to monitor that. It looks like the northern half of the valley will see a chance for some snow, maybe a little bit of mixed precipitation across the central portions of the valley. A cold one tomorrow, but it won't feel quite as cold with the winds not as strong. And now just a tiny bit of snow possible across the far north, but we'll continue to monitor that. That could flip-flop back Slick spot or two not out of the question in the northern half of the valley. 11 here in Fargo to start off the day. By lunchtime, maybe a little bit of a wintry mix. Temperatures in the mid to upper 20s. By the end of the day, topping out around 30 degrees. Picture of the day, some frozen waters, Pine Lake, Minnesota. Thanks so much to Brandon for sending this in. Going to use that as the backdrop to our 7-day forecast. And we've got that chance for the wintry precipitation primarily across the northern portions of the valley. That gets on out of here. Thanksgiving Day is looking good, upper 30s. And how about some low 50s as you head out shopping on the first biggest shopping day of the year? And then mid-30s Saturday. But that doesn't stick around long either. Back into the 40s Sunday and Monday.
50s. I just have to
50s.
open my
I can't
eyes a
remember
little
the last
bit.
time we had Black Friday show up and
wild.
temperatures in the 50s. But
I'll take it.
I think we all will.
Thanks, Robert.
You got it.
Well, new for you now at 9, a North Dakota man had to be airlifted to the hospital after a grain bin accident this afternoon. The Grand Forks County Sheriff's Office says deputies were called out to the area east of Norwood for a man injured in a grain auger. The 52-year-old man was reportedly cleaning out grain bin bottoms when his glove got caught in the auger. He had to be taken to Northwood Hospital, then airlifted to Altru in Grand Forks. Authorities are not releasing the man's name until family can be notified. There's no word yet on the extent of the injury. There was a big pot bust today in West Fargo. You're looking at 286 pounds of marijuana with an estimated street value more than $1 million. The pot was discovered during a traffic stop along I-94 at the 45th Street exit. A canine tipped off officers, and 34-year-old Kimberly Norton of Askabov, Minnesota, was arrested for possession of marijuana with intent to deliver. And the search continues for two men who robbed a Grand Forks pizza place at gunpoint. They were wearing masks at the time and are described as white, one about 6 feet tall, wearing a tan jacket and a ski mask. And take a look, the other was a little bit shorter, wearing a black jacket and a ski mask. Investigators say they entered the Little Caesars on Gateway Drive just after 10 o'clock last night, showed employees a handgun, and stole an unknown amount of money. 3 employees were in the building at the time and no one was hurt. Be sure to call Grand Forks Police if you have any information on that incident. North Dakota law enforcement is stepping up efforts to keep intoxicated drivers off of the roads. The Highway Patrol, along with the Sheriff's Departments from a number of counties, they'll be conducting a traffic and alcohol saturation test tomorrow. 20 officers will take place from 4 o'clock until midnight. That area includes 125 miles of Interstate 29 and 158 miles of U.S. Highway 2. The city of Jamestown will not have recycling come January 1st of 2018. This is after the city failed to approve extending subsidies to the Recycling Center of North Dakota Incorporated. The Recycling Center of North Dakota says the city needed to provide 2 more months of the current funding if it wanted to keep doors open at the center until March 1st of 2018. That was the curbside recycling implementation. Mayor Katie Anderson stated that the city had not budgeted for that. So residents have been voicing their frustrations with not having curbside recycling yet to city council members. The city council voted 3-2 in opposition to providing the subsidy for the recycling center. The center will close its doors December 31st and then reopen once curbside recycling is implemented on March 1st of 2018. An agitated school bus driver drove a group of elementary school students to East Grand Forks Police Station because they were misbehaving. Some parents are upset. One mom even saying her second grader was terrified by the experience, but the concerns go deeper. Some parents are saying buses are driving routes over capacity. Some kids sitting forward to a seat or even on the floor. School officials say that cannot happen. They say it's likely because kids are hopping on other buses rather than the ones that they're assigned to.
I mean, the buses are nice and big, you know, but it amazes me how a bus can be crowded because I see buses, there's like 8 kids and all these seats are empty, you know.
The superintendent said if you know if issues are happening on the bus, contact his office. Local students continue to spearhead the effort to fill the dome. They're bringing in more than 185,000 pounds of food for needy families. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum was on hand this morning, and he shared his gratitude with students and community donors for their joint efforts to gather food for those in need. This year, more than 50 schools in North Dakota and Minnesota, along with dozens of local businesses, are working together to gather enough food for more than 300,000 meals. It's a startling figure. Your neighbor could be going hungry. 1 in 9 North Dakota residents struggle with not having enough food on a daily basis. And a significant number of those people are children. So one local nonprofit organization is working to ensure that everyone has enough to eat. Holidays are an especially important time for food pantries that see a spike in needs. That's why, as you just heard, Fill the Dome event is happening at the perfect time.
It's a busy time of year, and we definitely see an influx around the holiday season.
It is going to go so far to be able to, provide meals for all our partner agencies statewide and in western Minnesota that really rely on this product. It's such a huge donation.
So if you want to help end hunger in the community, volunteers are always being accepted. You can find that information on our website at valleynewslive.com. A North Dakota principal is celebrating tonight after winning a national award described as the Oscar of Teaching. Take a look. Jamestown principal Adam Gaylor, a former West Fargo teacher and administrator, was given the prestigious Milken Educator Award tonight in a ceremony at Jamestown High School. The award recognizes teaching excellence publicly, not only to inspire educators, but students and entire communities about the importance of joining the teaching profession. Gaylor says the recognition is still coming as a surprise.
I'm still kind of in shock. I mean, it's quite an honor. I really, I believe it's our staff and students that have helped me get to this point. There's a lot of inspiring people out there that have made this a possibility, I guess.
Gaylor also gets a $25,000 award to use as he sees it fit. And many of you joined us for the annual Holiday Lights Parade in downtown Fargo tonight. We started on 8th Street in Moorhead and made the trek all the way to the end of Broadway. The Valley Today's Christy Larson, Kyle Bosch were there, along with Storm Team Chaser Eric Whitehill and Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, and Valley News Team's Melanie Palmer. It just wrapped up a little over an hour ago, so Robert and myself had to hustle on back to the station for tonight's newscast. But it was so worth it to see all of your smiling faces bundled up in your winter gear.